So, a person in the comment section, in the video that I just stitched, asked me what Fancy was about. She wants to hear about the screenplay. So, the log line for Fancy is: in 19th century New Orleans, a privileged Creole girl learns her lineage affords her advantages, but those come at the cost of providing special services. So that being said, guys, Fancy, I wrote Fancy about 2 years ago. It's about a Creole girl and her mother having to make a choice. Go research Storyville, guys. It was a place where there were many different sporting houses. You can go look up what sporting houses were. I'm not sure I could say it on TikTok. But this particular sporting house that this offer was made, and it is a fictional story with many historical references. I really have fun creating this screenplay. I would like to get it to Tyler Perry. He's from New Orleans, so he may be able to feel where I'm coming from. He understands the French Quarter, probably knows a little bit about Storyville. The Ava DuVernays of the world, because this story is all about women and women making choices, women helping each other out. So basically, the story goes, the Creole girl and her mother, there was something called placage. So if a woman of African descent had a child with a white person, in New Orleans, they afforded them something called placage. It was a quote unquote like a mistress kind of payment, if you will, because they obviously couldn't get married if they were in love back then. They couldn't do that. So if a woman of African descent had a child, that person would have to then provide placage. And that's Placage, apostrophe, French word. Well, in the story, the father of the mixed child, the Creole kid, gets married to the person that he could get married to, and he leaves New Orleans. And the mother of the child and the girl, of course, who is in her late teens, they find themselves in a bit of a pickle. They can no longer afford the lifestyle that they once had, and they have to find a way. Well, nothing happens by accident. Things happen when they're supposed to. They're made an offer, and from there, things ensue for them to be able to afford the lifestyle. The young lady wants to go to school, and I can't tell you guys the whole story, but there are some things that happen. There's a lot of New Orleans history just interwoven from the first shot in the movie to the very last shot of the movie. There's some family stuff that I decided to kind of do a little research and figure that out, some things here and there. But yes, that is what Fancy is about. I had fun writing it. I am also writing a number of other things, or have other things written, but this story is really, really close to my heart. New Orleans history is close to my heart. Fancy was a catalyst for me learning a lot of different other things about New Orleans and the history there. I'm from the 7th Ward, New Orleans. That is the inner city. That is where Treme is. That is right around the corner from where Storyville used to be. There's now a Storyville museum, and I haven't been home to see that museum, and I really want to see if they're going to tell the truth about what was really going on there. So it's a fictional story, Fancy is, based on a lot of historical references. You guys, Maspero's, the St. Charles Hotel, gosh, the different parishes, rice production, and how that red beans and rice that everybody loves so much, there would be no rice if it weren't for those African slaves. There were particular slaves from a particular region that helped New Orleans become what it is, even to this day. Very, very interesting. I am working on it. So if anybody out there knows any production people, like I said, the Tyler Perrys, the Ava DuVernays, the Charles Kings, those are people that I am interested in. I think this would be an awesome, not just visually, I think about how they did it in the Interview with the Vampire, the TV show, not necessarily the movie, but how they did the TV show. I think that it would be visually stunning, and not necessarily in the costuming, the 19th century costuming, because this story, I wrote it, it takes place in 1898, which is something else weird. Yeah, I just wanted to put that out there to the young lady that had questions about my screenplay and what it was about. If anybody knows anybody, I'm working on my end as far as trying to get the ball rolling on that. But if anybody knows anybody, hey, reach out to me. I'm always open to working with other creatives because I think this film would be visually beautiful and teaches a lot of people about the history of New Orleans, and a lot of people are curious about New Orleans and love it when they go there. There's a spirit there that it can't be mocked. You can't feel it anywhere else in the world. There's something special about New Orleans. I came from there, I should have. So, yeah, Fancy.